Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 27th of September. Indian Prime Minister Modi attends Shinzo Abe's funeral, meets Japanese counterpart in Tokyo. Activists accuse Pakistan floods are a man-made disaster, genocide unfolding in Sindh. And Bangladesh ferry disaster death toll climbs past 60. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday attended the state funeral of Japan's former PM Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated in July. Shinzo Abe was a polarising figure who dominated modern-day politics as Japan's longest-serving leader. During his visit, PM Modi also held a bilateral meeting with his Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida, in Tokyo.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida and expressed his deepest condolences as he visited Tokyo to attend the state funeral of former Japanese PM Shinzo Abe on Tuesday. Both the leaders also discussed ways to further enhance bilateral relations to realize a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, India's foreign ministry said in a statement. With flowers, prayers and a 19-gun salute, Japan honoured Abe at the first state funeral for a former premier in 55 years. Shinzo Abe was making a campaign speech outside a train station when he was shot dead in July. A moment of silence was followed by a retrospective of Abe's political life and speeches by leading ruling party figures, including Kishida, Abe's successor, and then floral tributes were paid. The foreign dignitaries at the event included US Vice President Kamala Harris, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Australian PM Anthony Albanese. PM Modi on Twitter said Abe was a great leader, a phenomenal individual and someone who believed in India-Japan friendship. He shall live on in the hearts of millions. Earlier on July 9, a one-day national mourning was also observed in India in Abe's honour. During Shinzo Abe's tenure, the relationship between India and Japan grew and encompassed issues from civilian nuclear energy to maritime security, bullet trains to quality infrastructure, Act East policy to Indo-Pacific strategy.
And India's Foreign Minister Jaishankar met US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Washington on Monday and discussed new opportunities for bilateral defense industrial cooperation, a move which Pentagon said would enhance New Delhi's contribution as a regional security provider. Jaishankar said the stability, security and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific should be secured as the global situation has become very challenging.
India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is on an 11-day official visit to the United States, met US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin on Monday and discussed new opportunities for bilateral defense industrial cooperation. During the delegation-level talks, Jaishankar said that the stability, security and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific should be secured as the global situation has become very challenging. He also emphasized that the stronger defense industrial collaboration and military exercises between India and US are needed to achieve those targets. Pentagon in a readout said their cooperation would enhance New Delhi's contribution as a regional security provider. Jaishankar in a tweet said defense and security cooperation is a key pillar of the contemporary India-US partnership, and both the leaders noted the steady progress in policy exchange, interoperability, defense trade, service exercises and military-industrial cooperation. Jaishankar is also expected to meet his American counterpart Antony Blinken and other senior officials of the Biden administration in Washington.
Senior leader of Pakistan's ruling PML-N party, Ishaq Dar, who is set to take the position of finance minister for the fourth time, has said he will get the country out of its economic rut. Dar, who is a declared absconder in several corruption cases, arrived in Pakistan from the UK after 5 years. An anti-graft court has suspended arrest warrants against him until 7th of October.
Pakistan Prime Ministerial aide and senior PML-N leader Ishaq Dar said on Monday that he would take up the role of finance minister for the fourth time and will get Pakistan out of its economic rut. Current Finance Minister Miftah Ismail has verbally tendered resignation to PML-N Supremo Nawaz Sharif and said on Sunday he will formally step down, making way for Dar to take over amid the persistent economic turbulence. Dar had quit as finance minister in 2017 after he flew to London for medical checkups amid pending corruption cases which he says were politically motivated. His arrest warrants have been suspended by anti-graft court until October 7, making his return to Pakistan possible.
मियां नवाज शरीफ और सदर और प्राइम मिनिस्टर मियां शहबाज शरीफ ने मुझे कहा है कि मैं अपनी वज़ीर ख़जाना की जिम्मेदारियां कबूल करूं, तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मैं पूरी कोशिश करूंगा कि पाकिस्तान जिस भंवर में माशी तौर पे फंसा है हम इसको निकालें, जैसे हमने 98-99 में निकाला था, 2013-14 में निकाला था। इंशाअल्लाह बड़ी उम्मीद है कि हम पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन में जाएंगे।
The IMF board last month approved a bailout program allowing for a release of over $1.1 billion to Pakistan. But the economic turmoil has been exacerbated by widespread floods estimated to have cost nearly $30 billion. Unpopular decisions Ismail took to adhere to IMF preconditions, including rolling back power and fuel subsidies, have also led to rise in inflation above 27% and the rupee tumbling to historic low.
Moving on, Sindhi activists have accused that Pakistan's floods are a man-made disaster, as the government deliberately changed the flow of rivers to extract millions in aid amid the economic crisis. Staging a demonstration in London over negligence in Sindh, they highlighted a genocide is unfolding in the worst-hit province as people are forced to live in hunger and suffer due to diseases with no aid reaching them.
The World Sindhi Congress observed a one-day hunger strike in front of the Pakistan High Commission in London this past weekend to protest against the negligence of the Pakistan government amid the unprecedented floods that have led to the virtual drowning of the Sindh province. Activists said that it is clearly a man-made disaster and not a climate catastrophe, blaming Pakistan of deliberately changing the flow of rivers towards towns and villages in the region. And they said, in the aftermath, people are forced to live in hunger and suffer due to diseases with no aid reaching them, despite Islamabad extracting millions in aid from various countries and donors. The protesters urged the international community to set up a high-level committee to investigate what they said ongoing genocide, especially in worst-hit Sindh province.
And they have left these 22 million people. 10 million have become homeless. They have just left them to be surrounded by water, to die in hunger, in diseases, in malnutrition. This is really unbelievable for the world. And what they are using this as a reason to extract money from the international donors, the various countries. And whatever aid has reached so far in Sindh, nothing has been distributed. The people are right there. So they are committing a clear-cut genocide. They already had the plans to commit genocide so that they can get hold of Sindh. But now they have got this reason.
On Monday, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the United States would provide an extra $10 million in addition to $56 million already given to Pakistan to help recover from the deadly flooding. The deadly disaster has killed nearly 1,600 people and caused damage estimated at $30 billion. Hundreds of thousands of people displaced by the floods are still living in the open after the deluge destroyed their homes and livelihoods. Authorities say the stagnant flood waters spread over hundreds of kilometers may take 2 to 6 months to recede.
And Sri Lanka's apex court has decided not to proceed with a case filed against President Ranil Wickremesinghe related to the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. Wickremesinghe, who was the Prime Minister at that time, was accused of not acting despite prior intelligence warning about the impending attacks. The top court said a case cannot be maintained against a sitting president.
Sri Lanka's Supreme Court on Monday ruled to remove the current President Ranil Wickremesinghe from the case, who is named as a respondent in the fundamental rights petitions filed against the state for its failure to prevent the 2019 Easter Sunday bomb attacks. 9 suicide bombers belonging to local Islamist extremist group National Tawheed Jamaat, linked to militant group Islamic State, carried out the series of blasts that tore through 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels in Sri Lanka in April 2019. A presidential commission of inquiry had earlier said that the then President Maithripala Sirisena and Wickremesinghe, who was the Prime Minister at that time, had prior knowledge about the attacks but did not act. The apex court said according to the constitution, a case cannot be maintained against a sitting president and thus Wickremesinghe is entitled to immunity. Further hearing of the petitions will be however held on 29th of September. This comes as last week the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court had named former President Maithripala Sirisena a suspect in the Easter bombings case for neglecting intelligence reports on the impending attack. Sirisena will have to appear in the court on October 14th.
While moving on to news from Bangladesh, the death toll from the sinking of an overcrowded ferry carrying Hindu devotees in northern Bangladesh climbed to more than 60 on Tuesday, with many passengers still missing 2 days after the disaster.
The death toll from the sinking of an overcrowded ferry carrying Hindu devotees in Bangladesh's northern Panchgarh district climbed to at least 61 on Tuesday, with many passengers still missing 2 days after the disaster. Police said that while some of the passengers managed to swim ashore or were rescued, about 10 were still missing. Jahurul Islam, chief administrator of Panchgarh, informed that the ferry had been taking Hindu devotees to a temple on the occasion of Mahalya, when Hindus make offerings to their ancestors. A 5-member committee has been formed to investigate, but initial reports suggested the boat was carrying almost 3 times its capacity.
আমি নদী পার হয়ে যাইতেছি, নৌকার মধ্যে মানে প্রায় 200 জন লোক ছিল। পার হয়ে যাওয়ার ধরতে মাঝখানে লোকের বেশি ভারীর কারণে স্রোত ছিল বেশি, ঢেউ ছিল বেশি, এই জন্য নৌকাটা পাল্টি খেয়ে ডুবে যায়। ডুবে যাওয়ার পরে আমি কোনো রকম আর কি জীবন বাঁচার।
The death toll is the worst for a maritime disaster in the country since 2015, when at least 78 people died after an overcrowded ferry collided with a cargo vessel near Dhaka. Dozens of people die each year in ferry accidents in Bangladesh, a low-lying country that has extensive inland waterways and lacks safety standards.
And devotees in India's northern Amritsar city dressed their children in monkey attires to celebrate the beginning of a 10-day fair to honor monkey god Lord Hanuman on Monday. According to a belief, when childless people pray at the temple for an offspring, their wishes are fulfilled. When they get a child, they bring him to the fair, dress him up as a monkey soldier as a sign of gratitude to Hanuman.
People bathed and dressed up their young children and some older boys in bright, shiny monkey attires at the famous Durgyana temple in India's northern Amritsar city on Monday to mark the Langur Mela as a token of respect to the Hindu monkey god Hanuman for blessing them with a male child. The Langur Mela is celebrated in conjunction with the 9-day Hindu festival of Navratri to please Lord Hanuman and seek blessing for a healthy and long life for young boys. Kids were decked up by their parents in gold and silver designer clothes. They also carried a colorful staff and wore makeup to highlight their features. According to temple priest, parents have to bring their child 2 times a day and for 10 days.
इसमें बच्चे को लंगूर बनाया जाता है, जैसे जिसकी कोई सुखना वगैरह होती है, जिसके घर में बेटा वगैरह नहीं होता है, तो वो हनुमान जी से अपने बेटे के लिए, औलाद के लिए ना, औलाद प्राप्ति के लिए भगवान जी से मन्नत मांगते हैं. तो कई वैसे ही बना देते हैं बच्चे को, कई खुशी से, लेकिन मैंने तो बच्चे को सुखना से बनाया. भगवान जी ने मेरे घर में लड्डू गोपाल जी दिए हैं.
Couples, besides observing fast, also sleep on the floor, shun footwear and receive verses from the Hindu epic Ramayana. Some children also follow their parents by observing fast throughout the fair. Lord Hanuman, the deity which blesses devotee with children, remained a bachelor, committing his life to the service of Lord Rama. India's patriarchal society traditionally prefers sons to daughters, and the preference continues to be strong in the country's rural and semi-urban areas.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.